why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. We had a great relationship. Tony Rock was my man. This is probably irreparable. I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me. And it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. It happened on Questlove's award, and it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are stopping by for the That's Ula, Hala, say hi.
Hi.
My baby, I love him so. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, welcome, my darlings. Today's episode is about the public apology Will Smith gave a couple of days ago after quite a hiatus. He was breaking his silence after that disastrous slap he gave Chris Rock at the Academy Awards. He sat down, he looked and seemed very remorseful, and there were questions that he answered. He apologized to Chris Rock. He apologized to his mom, Chris Rock's mom. He apologized to Chris Rock's brother, whom he said they were very cool, they were very tight, and he wasn't sure whether that friendship would ever be mended ever again. He went on to answer another question. Did Jada give him any indication whatsoever by rolling her eyes that he should go ahead and charge Chris Rock on stage? He apologized for bringing that heat on her. He apologized for bringing that heat on his children and all of them. He went on to apologize to all the nominees that voted for him at the Academy Awards and how he stole the moment from the other nominees, their moment to shine. He took that away. He apologized to the public and how, you know, he felt bad and letting people down was his central trauma. And if they hung on to him, he was going to make things right again. I appreciated the apology. I feel that it was extremely heartfelt. But he has to understand, Chris has to take his time to accept the apology. I felt that despite the fact that Jada rolled her eyes, and perhaps she didn't give Will any sign. The second that Will jumped up there, she should have waited to see, oh, what's going on? Because nobody knew. Everybody thought they were still laughing. When he came back and was mouthing off, she could have demonstrated and said, Will, stop. Stop, Will. Then the whole world would have known. It's the fact that she did absolutely nothing. It came off as if she went on to say, no, that's my man. That's right, Will. You let him know. And you talking about bringing heat on your kids. Jaden made a comment, that's how we do. Will, you have to understand how disrespectful that was to Chris Rock. Jaden, your son, signing off on your behavior and giving it to Chris Rock. Your son in turn has to apologize to Chris. A family to family, his family closed off from all of you. Your son has to apologize for that. Because Chris and Jaden, they're not in the same league at all. But by you behaving that way, your son, well, that's my pops. Yeah, he can do whatever he wants. Well, as you very well have found out, no, you cannot. You see, here's the thing, Will. I feel as if the world had not turned to you and said, you're bang out of order, you wouldn't have seen anything that you did was wrong. You went ahead and partied and you were like, this is what we do in Baltimore. You can't take us nowhere. You were holding your trophy. You went on and on. It wasn't a situation where you processed anything. It was when you woke up and the world said, no, it doesn't matter who you are. You don't treat anybody like this. That was when you went on to be remorseful and you want to find yourself because you didn't take it seriously. Because in essence, you had no respect, no regard for Chris Rock. Bottom line. And you belittled him in front of the world. You belittled him. The slap was one, but the way you cursed at him was two. Like, you little piece of nothing, shut up. You are here to work. I'm invited. That's how it came off. I will sit front row. I will not move from here. I will do and say whatever I want, because afterwards we learned you and Jada were told to leave. You refused to leave. It's all of those things. What you don't understand was that your central trauma in letting people down, you were a trauma to Chris Rock, who after everything had happened still had to carry on with the show and still look at you in the front row, and there was nothing that he could do about it. Nobody came to his aid. Nobody came to his aid. He was on stage. Unbeknownst, now we find out that nobody was allowed to go on stage after what you had done. But now Chris has to go mind over matter and continue to carry this show live on a global stance. Unpack that, and you will understand why Chris cannot easily talk to you right now. No time soon. He has to be able to break it all the way down and say, all right, Will. I want to unpack this part. I want to unpack this. There are two sides to every story. Then there's the truth. Chris did not know that Jada had alopecia. That is one. Chris is a comedian. That is two. That you physically assaulted him. If he had physically assaulted you. We are reading in the papers how a young boy, they just took him off life support because he was shot by a begrudging customer at McDonald's over cold fries. People are crazy. People lose it. Sometimes it gets too much, and it's that tipping scale where something happens and it becomes a different story. Or by what you have done, you are showing your kids, I'm a Smith. I'm Will Smith's son, daughter. I can do anything. I can get away with anything. This is how we do. That is wrong. Those are the answers that we want. And it was very comfortable for you in the sense where you were in a safety zone. Come on a show. Let somebody interview you. You should have been interviewed where you're kind of on the hot seat. Just the way Chris Rock was on the hot seat, on a hot stand for about 2-3 hours. You go through that and get all of the hard questions. You don't get to pick and choose the questions that you want to answer. You brought the heat, you and Jada brought the heat on your family. The way that you behaved and the way she reacted. She signed off on it by the way she acted. She didn't have to say anything. If Ula gets up and slaps somebody, Ula, no. We have Adrian to think of. No. And I don't want to sign off on something like that, even though we are united for life. That is the issue. You can say one thing, but it's the way that you behave. I believe that Will is remorseful. I believe that Will is sorry. I truly believe it. I believe that he would never have wanted this on him. But it also shows us another side of Will that he never showed to the public. That he can be reckless. And in your recklessness, it can cost you everything that you've worked for. We don't even remember that you won the Academy Award per se. It was all of this. Having said that, we're all human. We're all human, myself included. I make mistakes. I make big mistakes all the time. You have to forgive. You have to move on. You can't let it cripple you. You can't let it suffocate you and destroy everything ahead of you. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. So, Chris, find in your heart somewhere, somehow to forgive. to forgive him and move on. He apologized. He's still apologizing. I appreciate that. I loved it that Will took out of his time to apologize to Chris' mom, because I think Will really, really, truly realized all of what he had done by that slap, that he had slapped all of them. He had slapped the nominees. He had slapped us, his fans. He had slapped Chris's family. That he slapped us all with that shocking behavior. And I believe that Will had no intention. He just thought, you know what, don't be crazy. Don't mess up. Shut up. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. That's it. I'm done. I believe that he just zeroed in on Chris. He didn't see anything else. And then it began to become magnified. And I think in a way Will has realized how truly big of a star he is. And that's the price. You get all of the benefits. You get all the cookie and the candies. But you also have a huge responsibility. I am even feeling it. As we are approaching 400,000 followers. 400 Fumi Nation girls and boys and men. I see you every single day. It has never happened before in my entire life. And I realize, for me, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. You cannot act crazy in public. And I have a couple of grievances with folks. And I have to let it go. Because I am slowly, gradually becoming a public figure. And that was not my intent. I just love what I do. I just love hanging out with you guys. But I have a responsibility. And I cannot act crazy. I have a husband whose name he's given me. And I have a son. So I have to act accordingly. Is it hard sometimes? Yes, it is. But that's the price. All of my love, my darlings. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to share, and let me know what you think about it. And yes, my darlings, I will be here tomorrow. We are doing this every day for a minute. I missed you all. Love you. Mwah. Bye. Da, da, da.